If you could speak to the entire Texas legislature now, having been there, one, being a concerned citizen before you got in, being active in politics before you got in, now being there as a citizen representative, if you could speak to the entire legislature, what would you say to them?
I think that if I could speak to the entire legislature, I would just say that we need to take the time to fix the things that are broken in the state, and that's school funding is broken, transportation funding is broken. We have so many areas that have just had duct tape put on them and kicked down the road, and in my opinion, we're down there to make the hard decisions and do the things that need to be done to make Texas a better state and to secure our future. And there's so much resistance to making changes to actually fix anything, and a lot of people are just not willing to do it. But I would say we need to take the time. We need to have the spine to stand up and fix the things that are broken to move Texas forward.
You look at all the things you guys accomplished in the Texas legislature this session. Were there things that you wish you guys would have accomplished?
You know, I had an open carry bill, which would allow our Second Amendment rights to have been exercised a little more fully by not just a concealed carry. It was licensed open carry, where that you would have to have a license to carry your handgun openly. I would like to have seen that passed. It never got to the House for a vote. We got it into calendars, which they said we never could do, but we couldn't get it out of calendars, so it didn't really matter. I would like to have seen more immigration reform than we passed. Sanctuary cities is a good start, and we have a lot of voter initiatives that are good. I mean, like the voter ID, but we also have made the penalty stronger for knowingly voting when you're an illegal and things like that. We passed a lot of bills like that, and they will help. But I still don't think that in so many cases, and immigration is a prime example, that we have tackled the core issue, and I'd like to do those. I hate that they have not been done.
Yeah. Are you glad you guys get the speed limit raised?
Yeah,
that was a good one. I like that one a lot.
I didn't get to use it yesterday, but well, we were the only state in the union that had a dual speed limit for nighttime and daytime, and
which is ridiculous. I've never figured that one out. I
didn't understand it at the time, but Gary Elkins brought us a bill, and we passed it out of transportation and passed it onto the House, and I guess it will become law, and so we won't have a nighttime and a daytime speed limit, and it will have the potential to raise speed limits from 70 to 75, and then on certain new roads all the way up to 85. So
oh my goodness,
it would be nice, but that won't be on existing roads. That'll only be on new roads.
Yeah, interesting. All right, let's talk a little bit about TxDOT very quickly. TxDOT is broke. How do you fix it? I don't mean just broke in the sense of being broken. We're talking they don't have any money. How do you fix that? You can, considering, because all the things I read, I'm reading that we're going to be even in worse shape here in the next session in 2013. So, I mean, how do we fix TxDOT at this point?
Our funding system for roads in Texas is broken. 20 years ago, we put a 20-cent a gallon tax on gasoline. And I don't think anybody's for more taxes, and I didn't vote for any more taxes for anything, and most of the people didn't. But we need a percentage tax on gasoline like we have on everything else, and then we would have the money to fund our infrastructure. But now what we're doing is we're having more and more toll roads because we don't have the money to build them and the people need them. In some ways that's okay because the people that use those roads pay for them and we don't. But when we get to the point that we just can't build any roads, we're in trouble. This is the first time in the history of the state of Texas that we're going to spend more money paying interest on roads than we are building new ones. We have our interest cost in the next 2 years is $1.6 billion and some change, and we only have $1.1 billion to build new roads with, and that is just really not acceptable.
Speaking of taxes, 2013 rolls around. If you go back, I always say that's all my friends that are elected officials, if you decide to go back, do you think that we can actually make a good run at eliminating property taxes in the state of Texas?
I've got a study that I'm trying to get done to allow us to eliminate property taxes, and we've been looking at various things between votes and things like that to try to figure out how we can do that. Because I think if we could figure out how to eliminate property taxes, I think it would really open Texas up to have a boom, an economic boom. Because then we'd be one of the few the only state with no property taxes and no income taxes. And I think we would have business moving here, and I think it would be a really good thing for our state. But property taxes really are the way that we fund schools, and so we've got to figure out some other way to do it. And raising the sales tax is unacceptable, so we've got to figure out how do we do that. And I don't know that we have an answer yet, but we are looking for something.
Yeah, the Texas Public Policy Foundation, they talk about, they've got a study out. I'm sure you've seen that study, to where you eliminate the property taxes, but you have to raise at least a little bit the sales tax in the state of Texas. And some people fear that would drive away business. Some people say, well, it makes everybody pay at least something, whereas now not everybody pays property taxes.
Well, I think everybody probably does in some form or another, whether you're a renter or an owner. You do pay more if you own property. But I don't know. Like I said, we're looking at it. It's not an easy fix. If it was, it would have already been done.
Sure.
But we are looking at it. Hopefully, in the next couple of years, we can come up with something that'll work better and be fair to everybody.
Sure. Speaking of the next couple of years, just because you're not in session, once the special session is over with, what does a representative do during the time they're not in session?
Evidently, radio interviews and things like that. Now it's going to be really interesting, because if the redistricting holds that we have for the House, as sad as I am about it, there's a potential that I would lose Cass, Marion, and Morris counties and pick up Red River, Lamar, and Franklin. And not that I love all those counties.
Sure.
But I hate to lose the three that I've been representing, 3 out of the 4 that I've been representing. So I suppose that in the next year and a half, my time will be spent meeting new people.
Sure. And I thought that by supporting Joe Strauss, you were going to be protected.
Yeah, I remember saying there were no promises that went with that.
That's funny.
I do remember saying that.
No, but you do pick up, though, those counties there. How does that affect your plan to get out in the communities? Do you start going to those different places and introducing yourself and seeing how you can represent those people? Well,
I think I need to do that, but it's also important to remember the fact that I still represent all 4 of my current counties until somebody else does.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to neglect any of them.
Sure.
I mean, whatever they need, and even after, if this redistricting plan does hold, even after I pick up 3 new ones and lose them, I'll still do anything I can for them. I mean,
sure, you got great friends down there.
Those people have been great to me, and I want to help them any way I can. I mean, whoever they get, I think Wayne Christian is who they would end up with, 2 of them, and then Brian Hughes would get 1. But they're good state reps too, and I mean, I think they'll still be very well represented, but they'll actually have 2 reps, because I'll still help them too.
Sure. And of course, our friend Brian is never at a loss for words.
That's right.
And they get a good one out of Brian.
That's right.
I don't know Wayne, but I know Brian. Well, thanks for doing this. I appreciate you doing it, and let us know what we can do for you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.